Okay, hello. This is my presentation on the low-tech assistive technology. Tool number one, pencil grips and extra wide writing utensils. These types of tools are a part of the low-tech assistive technology because they're just tools that many students can use, and they don't require any sort of like device or technology. As you can see in this picture, they come in some like really fun colors. Also, they've really stepped up the dynamics of these types of pencil grips. For example, if you look at this image, they have different ones for each child's specific fine motor developmental need. So for instance, they have like 2 fingers or 1 finger grip, whatever that child needs. So what are some of the characteristics that might be used for this? So students would benefit from having pencil grips if or those extra wide writing or drawing utensils if they're having difficulty developing those fine motor skills. So they're having trouble using the pencil or the pen or whatever that device is in writing or any other activity. So that's going to be where these come in place. It helps the student to grasp the object and really work those motor skills so that they can write and participate in the activity. Students who would benefit for this would be, like I said, in that fine motor developing section. The environment that could be used with this tool is that early childhood, so your pre-K, maybe kindergarten up to first grade, when they're still using those skills, they're still learning to write and using these types of utensils. So anytime that you have a writing assignment or they're drawing, trying to be creative, you want to use those extra wide pens or markers so that they can continue to get that movement while they're completing their assignments in the classroom. So anytime in that sort of environment. Also, they can be very helpful. You could send them home with the students so that they're constantly practicing if they decide to draw or maybe they have a homework lesson. You want to make sure that they're constantly practicing those motor skills. So that can be very helpful for students with those particular developmental skills. The tasks that can be used for this are so many ways that you can use this in your classroom. Again, writing assignments, if you ask the students to write their name or tell a short story, they're going to need to use a pencil for that, or a pen, or whatever that utensil is going to be. So if you have them use these grips, it will definitely help them be able to complete their task and give them that fine motor practice that they need in the classroom. So this is a great tool. It's used a lot for many students, even students who don't have some sort of other learning disability. It might just be that physical developmental process is coming along a little bit slower. So this is a great tool to use in your classroom, and it helps a lot of students get kind of used to writing with different utensils. The next tool is a visual schedule. So a visual schedule is very helpful for many students. Basically what it is, this tool teachers would create for either their whole class or maybe it's for an individual student. And a lot of times there's pictures and it's numbered, or maybe you have the time. Or maybe you have the time listed during each thing. You have the transitions. So characteristics for these visual schedules. A lot of times visual schedules are a graphic representation of the scheduled activities, and they are regularly used to support students with disabilities. Um, this tool helps the student learn what their day-to-day activity is going to be. Students who are on the autism spectrum can especially benefit from visual schedules. It's important to remember that all students are different, and each visual schedule needs to be created and personalized to fit their needs. But back to students who do have a learning disability, this can really help calm them down. Even anxiety, students who might suffer from anxiety, the transitions and the kind of daily hustle and fast pace of the classroom environment can really give them anxiety and stress. Having a visual representation taped to their desk with pictures outlined exactly what they're going to do every day or specifically for that day can really help them with that transition and kind of reduce that anxiety and kind of give them more calm, give them a routine of what they expect. So that's characteristics that this tool would help certain students. The environment, usually this is in the classroom, but honestly, this can be at home too, especially students who are on the autism spectrum or have anxiety. Like I said, the parents might have a system like this at home, maybe on the fridge or on their desk at home. It kind of lays out what they do in the morning when they get ready for school, and then you have what they're doing in the classroom at school, and then maybe they have one for at home. So having this itinerary kind of visually planned out for them every day is really going to help reduce that anxiety and stress for these students. So the environment is honestly endless. So you could go both ways. I think the elementary level is very important for these students because especially like those first couple years, they're just getting in to the school system. So, and a lot of students with disabilities do not like change and they crave routine. So really giving them that great structure early on in those early elementary years is going to help them process the daily life of school. So I think that's a very critical environment is like that pre-K, kindergarten, kind of first grade, really getting them supported and feeling comfortable with the routine of daily school. A lot of tasks can be used with visual schedules. For instance, just having the visual might be great for the student. Maybe they're struggling with reading, so having those pictures on there to kind of help them with going on the daily presentation of the day is great. This is great for ELL students as well. Maybe they don't know all of the English words just yet, so having visual representation is going to help them kind of reduce that stress as well. It's also a great tool assisting in transitions because a lot of times that hectic pace of transitioning, it's quick, it's sometimes overwhelming for students. So when they know what comes first and what comes next, it can better prepare them for that quick transition and also help you in that sense get them ready for the next task. It also helps them feel organized, that routine. Like I said, a lot of students with learning disabilities might really need that routine. So this is a great way for them to kind of check off and say, okay, I did this and I know what's coming next. Really helps them feel more confident in the classroom. And the third tool is audiobooks or recordings. So listening to audiobooks or recording as you read can help many students in many different ways. Reading is so important, and it's also like one of the most difficult tasks. When we first learn English or language in general, we hear it as babies. You know, we kind of comprehend things just by listening to our environment. So this can be a great way to help students kind of initially start to recognize important vocabulary words, sight words. You can give them a transcript so that they can follow along and identify, okay, I hear this word and I see it on the page. So that's going to help me remember. So obviously the characteristics for this group is very many beyond students with learning disabilities. It might just be students who are simply struggling with reading in one group, but it's especially helpful for English language learners. It might be easier for some of those students to kind of hear the word so that they understand how to pronounce it correctly and then visually see it at the same time. So I think that this is a great group for students to use audiobooks or recordings for their reading. The environment for this, you can use it during independent reading. So if you have a book task, they can be listening to the book while also reading and visualizing the words on the page, following along. Group reading activities. There's just so many ways that you can use this in the classroom. Having them listen and read at the same time is really going to help improve their vocabulary, build their confidence, and build that English fluency that they need. Also, this can be great for at-home use. I know like at the elementary level, it's so important that the students read at home. I know a lot of teachers kind of send home like a worksheet and they have to write how many chapters or pages they read that night, whatever it may be. So you could send home a CD, or maybe on your website you have the audio recording with and send the book home with the student. So that's another environment that they could use it in. Maybe it's better for them to kind of complete that at home than it is in the classroom. So there's a couple environments and areas that you could use this. And then the tasks for this would help improve their vocabulary, build those reading and comprehension skills like I mentioned before. Also with recordings, it might be helpful for the student to go back, depending on your grade level, to review a lesson or something that you did. I know a lot of teachers who have websites, and you can post certain things so that they can go back and listen to that at their own pace. But I do think that these audiobooks are just great for students to help with their reading and kind of give them more confidence and really focus on hearing those words in the proper pronunciation and then seeing them as well. You're really getting a great tool out of that. Your brain is really focusing on what that word is and what it sounds like and what it looks like. So those are my low tech assistive technology tools. Thank you so much.